All right, what's going on?
28-year-old male, heart rate 102, BP 100/60, drove into a chain-link fence.
About how long ago?
For 40 minutes.
What's his name?
Andy.
Andy?
It's one thing to see somebody with an injury like this, with this pipe sticking through his mouth and really at the back of his neck.
You with me? Give me a thumbs up. How you doing? All right.
What was really amazing in Andrew's case is that he was awake and alert, sitting up.
All right, Julie, I want you to get the OR. Tell them open up. We're coming back for an awake trach. Get angio on the phone, too. We're going to come out the angio as soon as we're done with that, and then get me vascular, ENT, and OMFS on the phone.
All right.
But he had his phone in his hand. He had, was using both hands, and he was trying to text someone. I don't know really who, but he was trying to use his phone to text somebody as we talked to him and conversed with him. Obviously, it's a great sign that he was awake and he was moving. But with this particular injury, that was also a big concern, too, because I just don't want him to turn and smack the end of this pipe on something and dislodge. If this is holding pressure or stopping something from bleeding, I don't want him to mock that pipe around and move it around.
Images up.
All right, well, looks like it's missed the spine and the base of the skull, so we got that going for us. I think the next thing is just get him in the OR and get control of this airway. I just hope he has a little fighter in him.
Not only should he not be awake, he really shouldn't be alive.
What a startling image. That you're going to see the x-ray of a man impaled by a metal pipe right through his mouth. But amazing the man survived. Our Dr. Richard Besser is here. I almost knocked over my coffee cup right there, but it's because I cannot get over the size of that pipe.
It's unbelievable. George, it may not sound like Andrew Lynn was a lucky person, but had this pipe been a couple centimeters in any direction, it would have killed him.
This is the x-ray of Andrew Lynn, taken moments after he arrived at a Las Vegas hospital with a 2-inch thick metal fence pole impaled in his neck.
When he walked through the door, it was a little surreal.
Andrew apparently drove off the road last November and hit a chain-link fence, sending a pole through the windshield. It went through Lynn just below the right side of his nose, before exiting through the back of his neck. Rescuers were able to cut the pipe, but because 6 inches of pipe was sticking out of both the front and the back of his head, Andrew had to sit up for the ambulance ride and initial surgery. His wife got the phone call at 2 a.m.
I was pretty worried. We drove down. There was a long drive to the hospital for sure.
Dr. Jay Coates is the surgeon who saved magician Roy Horn after he was mauled by a tiger in 2003. Luckily, he was in the ER the night that Andrew arrived.
It was amazing to see somebody with an injury like this who was alive, let alone someone who was awake and alert and trying to communicate and talk.
Andrew is certainly not the first person to survive a severe impalement. Last year, this 17-month-old boy became a medical marvel after his brain was impaled on a 2-inch hook. This 37-year-old builder fell 20 feet off a ladder onto a vertical steel rod, which went in through his back and came out his chest. And when this 2-year-old tripped and fell on a screwdriver, doctors were able to remove it without surgery. As for Andy, surgeons were able to save him.
We were very, very lucky. This pipe had gone through, it just sort of pushed everything out of the way, merely compressed the vessels and had not torn through them.
There's just no words to describe how scared you are at that moment because, last thing I remembered was going to bed and going to sleep, and then I wake up to all this, so kind of overwhelming, to say the least.
I guess he's lucky they didn't remember anything, but that is a huge pipe, and you said right at the start, 2 centimeters, any direction, no way he can survive.
Any direction. Let me show you why. So it went through like this, underneath his nose and coming out. A couple centimeters over in this direction, and take a look at this picture. You'll see it would have severed his spinal cord. A couple centimeters down in this direction like this, look what it would have done if it had gone down. It would have cut his carotid artery or his jugular. He would have bled out. They were concerned pulling the pipe out. He might have bled out at that moment. And had it been a couple centimeters up like this, it would have taken off the bottom of his brainstem, which controls breathing. He would have died. He is incredibly lucky.
As you said, the luckiest unlucky man alive.
Amazing. Amazing story of survival.
Okay, Dr. Rich Besser, thanks very much.